so I've had the 636 about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, getting closer to 2 years probably now. But thing's been 100% reliable. It needs a battery right now. I bought a cheap cycle gear battery when I first got it, and that's going dead. For those of you that haven't seen my original video, this is kind of the update video to that, because it's one of my most viewed on my channel. And I'm just going to kind of go over front to back and all the little add-ons I've done, and maybe a few little mods that some of the stuff I can't show you, like flipping the ECU upside down and moving it, or relocating the ECU. But we'll just kind of start at the front. Tires, same tires I've got. They've been on it since I got it. They're pretty worn down, pretty chewed up, dried out. Let's see. One of the first things I broke and that I've actually needed to replace was when I first got this. I was trying to do wheelies on it, and I what's that called? Mash trapped a couple, and I broke the fairing stay, and I ended up having to buy this Racing 905 stunt stay to replace it, to kind of keep everything solid, because my whole front end was flopping around because the plastic one sort of cracked and fallen over, or cracked and was kind of loose, hanging in there loosely. From there, when I first got it, it already had this Akko Sato front master cylinder, but I did bleed all the brakes. It had the Goodrich stainless lines front and rear too. I bled all the brakes out really well. One of the first things I did was the impact tech, the main cage, and then I got the sub cage a little bit after, just to keep it all matching. I think I have dropped the bike once since I got it, so it did save a little bit. I mean, the bike's a little scratched up, so I wasn't super worried about dropping it to begin with, but the cage looks nice, and the cage has been sturdy. It's a little bit of a pain for changing the oil, but once you do it a few times, it's not too big of a deal to undo a few bolts every time you got to change the oil. Came with the Yoshimura slip-on. It had an FI light on because whoever put the slip-on and deleted the little exhaust servo didn't buy the servo buddy, so it was throwing the kind of like a check engine light is what that FI light is, from what I gather. And with the servo buddy, that fixed it up. Now my bike, one of the things I've been reading that happens a lot on these is the ECU overheats, and the bike will just kind of shut off because the ECU sits like right here under the seat, up where the exhaust puts all its heat. So what you can do is lift up this tail section and take the ECU, which is sitting here, and flip it pretty much upside down so it sits about here on top of the battery, which is what I've got done on this. When I change the battery, I'm going to try and make an attempt at showing sort of how you do that, or at least kind of walk you through the steps if you want to do that. My goal for the end of this year, since I have had it for 2 years, is to put a pair of new tires on it, get a chain and sprocket, since I'm pretty sure all that's stock, and replace the front and rear brakes, pads, rotors. Just do pretty much a full tune-up on it. Get some spark plugs. I probably need to check the valves because I've never done that and need to learn how. One of my favorite things I've done was this Righteous stunt clutch. I have it on 3 of my bikes, the Supermoto, the ZX10, and one on here, and they give you a lot of improvement over the stock clutch levers, just in the ergonomics of them and how easy they are to use. So yeah, for my rear plate setup, I don't have the stock rear plate bracket or any of the turn signals. What I have is this relocation that came on it, and I've pretty much got 3 little stick-on LED lights. 2 of them are turn signals, the 2 on the left and the right side, and then the one on top is my license plate light. And they're just all wired up to the stock bikes. Stock bike signals. It really needs it clean, but it's my daily, so it doesn't get cleaned a whole lot. Plus, it's not that clean to begin with, so I don't stress about it too much.